From the moment Josh Gunther first arrived at South Carolina, he knew he wanted to turn himself into a starting pitcher. Now, before this year, he had never started in a game at the college level. He had only ever pitched out of the bullpen during his time at Wake Forest, and even led the team in saves last year in their run to making the postseason. And it took work, for sure. He, starting in the fall, began to throw more pitches and built up his pitch count to the point where in the preseason where he was one of the best pitchers out there on the mound, and it looked like he was definitely going to earn himself a starting gig. But when it came time for Paul Mainieri to make a decision on his weekend rotation, Gunther did not make the cut and ended up starting the year out of the bullpen. But given his first opportunity to start in a game this season on Friday, he took full advantage of it, and it's safe to say moving forward, he'll probably be a regular fixture in the rotation as Gunther led the Gamecocks to a 7-0 win over number 15 Clemson here in the series opener at Founders Park. It was a magnificent performance for the right-hander. You could use so many different adjectives to describe this night on the mound. It was really poetic out there. 7 innings of 3-hit ball, no runs given up, 10 strikeouts. That's a career high for him with only 1 walk on the mound. Threw 90 pitches, and it was just a really dominant performance throughout the night. His stuff was just electric out there, and there was only really one time where he got himself into a bit of trouble. It was the 5th inning. Clemson had 2 runners on in scoring position with 2 outs, and Jaron Purify, who, if you remember last year in the series opener of this rivalry series, he had hit a solo home run in the 7th inning off of Brandon Stone to help propel the Tigers to that win out there at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. But this time around, Purify struck out on 3 pitches, and as Gunther walked off the mound, he said, quote, "I'll be honest, I blacked out." So it was a really fantastic night for the right-hander, and it set the tone for the Gamecocks to go out there and really have a great night overall. The offense came through with a 4-run 3rd inning against Clemson right-hander Aiden Canuck. They really did a nice job of working the count early, building up his pitch count. I think at one point, by the 4th inning, Canuck may have been at close to 70 pitches heading into that 4th inning of work. And eventually he settled in over the 4th and 5th inning. But it was that 3rd inning where the Gamecocks broke out for those 4 runs, got some real nice hits. And honestly, you look at their final numbers from tonight, I mean, how often do you see a team score 7 runs on only 4 hits? It doesn't happen that often. And only 3 of those hits led to RBIs. So the thing was, they worked the count. They only drew 5 walks, which Mainieri did note after the game that they weren't looking to draw walks, but that just ended up being the case. They took advantage of Clemson mistakes such as wild pitches and defensive errors, which is ultimately how they scored their other runs. So it wasn't the best night offensively in terms of getting hits. They still struck out 12 times, but when you're moving guys on the base paths and taking advantage of other mistakes in the field, that's how you can win ball games, even without a ton of power and pop at the plate. Now, besides Gunther, Alex Valentin was really dominant on the mound. He was the only other pitcher to throw in this game and was just equally as good as Gunther was. Pitched 2 shutout innings, didn't allow a hit, struck out 5 and walked 1. And it really does put the Gamecocks in a good position now, as they will go for a series win on Saturday over the Tigers at Segra Park. Ant Phillips will get the start on the mound. But tonight does help from the standpoint of Mainieri can really deploy his pitching however he really chooses over the next 2 games. And he also said that Valentin will probably pitch again at some point over the weekend. He only threw 33 pitches tonight and will probably pitch at some point either tomorrow or on Sunday. So once again, Gamecocks pick up a 7-0 series opening win over the Tigers here at Founders Park. For GamecockCentral.com, I'm Jack Veltri.